So if you clicked on this video, I'm sure you just want to know how to do this haircut, so let's get into it. I'm going to start off by creating 3 sections, one in the middle of his head and then one on the right and left side of his head. And with this middle guideline, what we're going to do is establish the length that he desires. In this case, we're taking off about 2 inches. And we're going to follow this guideline straight back. And then after we complete the middle, we're going to comb it to the right, and now we're going to do horizontal sections, which means to the side. And we're going to pull that up, and we're going to use that middle section as our guideline for the rest, so you can see that length difference. And we're just going to cut it off. My fault for being blurry on this side, so I will speed it up. The other side is going to be a lot more clear. So right there, I'm taking another horizontal section, and you can see what we need to even it out with, and then we're going to go ahead and trim it. And we're going to follow this all the way to the front of his head. I found this to be the simplest way to get a nice even cut on top while staying clean and organized. Because I know for me, when I was learning how to cut with scissors, I would get lost in the hair very easily, because I would just start from the front, pull it up, and just randomly cut, with no really system involved. So this system just makes it a lot easier to stay clean. And now we're going to comb over the middle section to his left side, and we're going to do the same exact process, taking horizontal sections, pulling them up, and then evening it out with that middle guideline. And you want to make sure that when you pull it up, that if you don't see a distinct difference in length, that you don't cut it, because you don't want to make his hair choppy on top or make it look uneven. And now we're going to do the front. And now we're going to go ahead and dry his hair. And we want to start off by drying his crown cowlick area first, because I wanted to get it nice and laid down without it sticking up. And we're not trying to style anything here. We're really just trying to get it dry so we can get into the cut. So now we're going to start the fading process. So we're going to grab our 2 guard with the lever all the way open, and we're going to start debulking. Now when debulking, you want to make sure that you don't go too high, especially since this fade is going to be more so of a low fade that drops in the back. I'm just trying to clear some space, so when I come and establish all my lines, I have a nice clean canvas to work with. So I'm making sure I'm staying below his parietal ridge, because we want to keep some weight along the sides of his head, right? We don't want it to be disconnected from the top or be super high. So I'm debulking but keeping it low, kind of coming off the shape of his head. As you can see, I'm not digging into the back there. And now we're going to establish our bald line. So we're going to come in with our trimmer and establish it in the back first. And the reason I start in the back is because it makes it a lot easier to make sure the guideline is consistent all the way through and not uneven. And then we're going to go to the side and connect those 2 points in the middle. So I'm sloping it around his ear and then dropping it in the back. And what this is going to do is make the fade look a lot more tailored to his head, and give it that more custom look. And now we're gonna bald it out, letting the weight of the trimmer do the work. You don't want to cause any redness, irritation. And we're gonna follow it up with the shaver just to get it a little closer to the skin and really make that fade pop. And I'm stopping right below the top of that line. And now to get into the fade, we're going to come in with the lever open on our Apex clippers. I just got these in the mail. These are super fire. I probably will do a review on them soon. And with this guideline, again, we're doing lever all the way open. And I would say we're going up about a thumb's width here. A lot of you guys, come at me when I say, I go up a full inch. But, we went up about a full inch, a thumb's width. And now to start getting rid of that line in between, we're going to come in halfway with the lever, and then we'll close it all the way until that line is completely blended out. And now we're just working. We're opening and closing the lever as needed, trying to get it blended. So you see right there, I'm just playing with that lever. And now for the next step, we'll come in 1 guard, lever all the way open. And again, we're going up about a thumb's width here, staying real consistent with that shape that we established that drops. Because again, I want to keep weight along the ridge and back side of his head. And this fade tends to be the one that complements that the most. So you'll see I'm just going over the line as much as possible to make sure that it's in there. And now to lighten up this line in between, I went ahead and closed that one guard. Now this isn't going to get rid of it fully, but it's going to make it a lot easier to get rid of with the half guard. So I'm just tapping at that line. And you can see towards the back there's a lot of indentations that create dark spots. So we will put more attention to detail there when we start, you know, really detailing and blending. And now for the next step, we're going to come in 1.5 lever all the way open. And with this, we're not really making a line here. We're kind of inching up slowly now to get into that clipper over comb. So I'm just going up just a little bit. Again, this is our 1.5 lever all the way open. And now to get rid of that last line, we're going to come in with our half guard lever all the way open. And with this, we're really using a lot of the corner of the blade to blend this out, so we make sure we don't go too high. But I'm going in open and then closing it as needed. And as we work at that line, you'll see it start to get blended out. Right there, I'm using the corner of the blade to get into that dark spot. And this helps me get rid of it without raising the fade. And now to blend into that ridge and weight on the sides, we're going to use clipper over comb instead of using big guards. So I'm coming in with that flat top comb and flaring out slightly. And then any hair sticking out of that comb, I'm going to get rid of with my clipper. Now on my clipper, the lever is all the way open. And as we continue to work at it, you'll see it start to blend a little better. And I don't always go sideways with the clipper when doing, this clipper over comb technique. Sometimes I'll go upwards and that'll help blend out a line. And all we're trying to do is lighten it up, make it look a little, softer and fluid. And now to really bring everything together, I'm going to do some shear or scissor over comb, whatever you want to call it. And the same idea, I'm coming in with that comb and then flaring out slightly. And any hair sticking out of the comb, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. And this is going to help preserve that length on the sides that we want, since this is a lower fade. And it is coming together very nicely. And now we're going to line up his arch. So I'm starting at the top of his arch. And then I'm going to work my way down. And I'm trying to, keep this as natural as possible while making this arch line up as sharp as possible as well. And this is really going to make that fade pop and bring everything together. And since I have the trimmers in my hand, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the bottom of his facial hair. And now in the back, since I want to detail it a little more, I'm doing some trimmer over comb. Trying to get into those dark areas a little better. Then I grab my magic clips and I'm detailing some more. And that fade is looking nice on the left side. So we're going to move on to the right. Now we're going to follow the same exact system. Lever all the way open. Again, going up about a thumb's width. Staying real consistent, real patient. Applying that same system to both sides, right? And now we're going to come in with the clipper halfway. And we're going to attack that line. And then we'll close it all the way until we get this line blended out. So I'm tapping at it and then inching up slowly. And as you would guess, right after that, one guard lever all the way open. And I'm going over the line here, but I accidentally set this line in before I recorded. But this is a one guard lever all the way open. Now to get rid of the line in between, we got our half guard lever open. And then what we're going to do is close it as needed until we get that line blended out. But yeah, man, these Apexes are fire. It's an all metal body. I honestly think it's probably the best clipper that Gamma and Stylcraft have made. And like I said, I'll probably do a review on these as well, so be on the lookout for that. And now for the next step, we're gonna come in 1.5, lever all the way open. And like I said, we're just inching up slightly here. I would say, you could say it was a thumb's width, but we're going up just a little bit so we can get right into the clipper over a comb. I'm just trying to blend it as best as we can. And I believe I come back with my one guard open, since you can see a line in between. Just trying to detail using a lot of the corner of the blade. And now we're going to do some clipper over comb just to blend into that length on the sides again. Bring everything together. And you can see it start to come together as we just apply all these different techniques and step to this fade. And now we're going to blend into his facial hair a little more. This is our one guard. And this is really just a reverse taper. And now we're going to line up his arch on this side. So again, we're starting at the top. And then we're going to go to the bottom and connect those 2 points in the middle. And this is just going to be kind of like the outline of the fade. Now we're going to clean up the bottom of his facial hair on this side. And I really think this fade complements his hairstyle very well. Especially since, you know, his hairstyle isn't anything crazy. So we're continuing to clean up his facial hair here. He likes it real messy, kind of hanging forward in the front. Now we're applying some finishing touches. And now for the top, we're going to use some hairstyling powder, volumizing powder from Slick Gorilla. And what you want to do is just work this into the hair. And this is going to allow him to have that dry, natural look, while at the same time having some hold and volume. And again, this is supposed to be messy, but this is the haircut. Family, if this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate you guys. And like always, I will catch y'all next time.